Kamala's big, I think, challenge here to win over the undecided voters is to convince them that she's not part of what they suspect she might be, sort of a stealth version of the worst excesses of the left.
Bill Maher believes that Kamala Harris has a woke problem, and that is the main reason why she is currently paralyzed in the polling. That is the main reason why Donald Trump has been able to close her lead nationally, according to the polls. Now, let's hear him out. What exactly is he citing here as the reason for her so-called woke problem?
There's a coalition of Trump voters, people who really like him, they certainly are those, and then there's people who don't necessarily like him that much, but they still think he's less crazy than stuff that strikes them as aggressively anti-common sense.
Right.
That takes place on the left.
Right.
So that's why they keep running that ad about sex changes in prison. You know, like, could you...
And every football game.
Could you get... Every football game. Could you get more... third rail words into one sentence than sex change operation, taxpayer funded, illegal prison.
It rings every single bell.
They just want her to say, look, I get this about the blue team, and it's on my to-do list.
By the way, it's very easy to say, yeah, I said that in 2019. I was in a competitive thing. Now, she did say, I think she said this was the law under Trump too. He didn't change it. But it's very easy to say, I don't believe that anymore.
So Scarborough, by the way, is absolutely correct. I don't say that often on this show, but he is correct in that it was the policy or the law when Donald Trump was in office. He didn't make any effort to change it. And now he is basically spending tens of millions of dollars running campaign ads, targeting Kamala Harris for her questionnaire answer toward the ACLU when she was running in the Democratic primary in 2020. They asked her if she supported the policy, and she said that she did. And so now he's using that against her. And you can call him out for never doing anything about the policy, but the fact remains that it does appear that to some extent, his attack against her is making some difference. So I want to just quickly go into how much money is being spent on this. Let's go to graphic 2 here. Over the first half of October, former President Donald Trump and his allies poured more than $21 million into television ads attacking Vice President Kamala Harris over her past support of certain rights for transgender people, a message they have spread during nationally televised NFL games, college football broadcasts, and in battleground states. So the Trump campaign is betting any voters still choosing between the two candidates will be swayed by this issue. In fact, the ads outpaced nearly every other topic Republicans have put in advertisements trying to sway the public during a critical closing stretch of the race, ahead of crime, inflation, and immigration, and behind only taxation. And I want to go to the ad so you guys know what we're talking about. I actually had never seen the ad. I don't think it's targeted toward people in California maybe, but this is what the ad is.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So not only is the Trump campaign banking on this ad being effective and making a difference with swing voters, it's essentially what Bill Maher believes is going to work or make a difference as well. And I'm curious what you think, Cenk.
Yeah, so there's two very different parts of this story. So first, on the issue of are these ads working and is this the right way to go for the Republicans, Democrats, et cetera? That I agree with Bill Maher and Joe Scarborough on, and yes, I just vomited a little bit in my mouth. But guys, we told you, and we got into huge fights on the left over this, that it was not going to play well. And a lot of people on the left claim, no, we don't know anything. This is gonna poll great, and the American people want it, love it, and that extra rights for transgender inmates getting surgery, et cetera. And if you didn't believe that, you were a Nazi and the American people don't agree with you. He's spending more money on this ad than almost any other ad because why? They have internal polling showing it's working fantastic. It is driving away voters from Democrats at record numbers. So you can say, hey, I love the policy anyway, and we should fight for it in the long run. No problem, no problem. I don't agree with it, but we can have that debate, no problem, okay? But if you live in a bubble where you think this helps Kamala Harris, you've lost touch with reality. That's just not in this world. I mean, you're just flat out wrong. I don't know if they're still sticking with it. My guess is they'll pivot. They'll go, oh, well, we knew it was gonna. No. You all said it would help her. You all said it, okay? You were all dead wrong about the politics of it. Well, now they'll pivot to, but we're the most moral, pure people on earth. And if she loses, that's even better for trans. No, it'd be terrible for trans people if she loses. Trump's a nightmare for them. That's exactly what we were warning you about, because it's gonna lead to worse situation for trans people, not a better situation.
Right, well, the moral argument has been the argument that they've been making. In fact, I remember that fight, and the main point was, well, it's the right thing to do, who cares about the electoral consequences? And it's easy to say that when the election isn't right around the corner, but now the election is around the corner. And Kamala Harris was asked about it, by the way. Bret Baier asked in the context of the Fox News interview that she did with him. And she said, quote, I think he spent $20 million on those ads trying to create a sense of fear in the voters, because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people, which is an interesting thing to say considering the fact that most of her campaign is now focused on fear-mongering about Donald Trump and how he's a fascist.
That's fair, but that's a fine answer. She's pivoting.
That's not an answer. Like, she didn't answer for it.
I'm saying as a political strategy, pivot away from it, because now let's get to the other end of it. So Bill Maher and Scarborough and all those establishment guys put a whole bunch of policies in the woke basket and then say it's all terrible, right? So all the progressive policies, so this one, defund the police, etc. But then they throw in Medicare for all and higher wages and all these things. And so wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense at all. So I don't even know what Bill Maher thinks is core Democratic policies. Because whenever you have a progressive who fights for those core Democratic policies, like more healthcare, better wages, Bill Maher and Joe Scarborough crap all over them.
Well,
right?
I don't know about Joe Scarborough, but when it comes to Bill Maher, he broke away from the culture of the current Democratic Party over these social issues in particular. And he's gotten some grief for it.
No, you're right, Anna, you're right. Verbally, rhetorically, he does that. There's one other issue that he broke away on or whatever. But when it comes to politicians who are in favor, like Bernie, 26, forget 2020, 2016, pure economic populist. He wasn't woke, there was none of that stuff. All there was universal health care, higher minimum wage, etc. And Bill Maher was like, no, not Bernie Sanders. Yeah. Woke, no, I hate him. Joe Scarborough, hate him. Chris Matthews, he's gonna execute people in the streets. That was in 2020, etc. So you guys are all liars. You don't want any of those policies. So if you do, well, show me one Democrat you've ever supported who actually fought for any of those policies. No, you always support the Democrat who fights against those policies. And the reason that they're not having a real honest critique of Kamala Harris is not because Kamala Harris is too woke or too anti-woke, it's because she's a cheesy establishment politician who goes where the wind is blowing.
Exactly.
So before, when she thought being progressive was hot, she's like, oh yeah, I'm the most progressive. Oh yeah. I'm gonna defund everything and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, right? And now that it's not popular, she's like, oh, hey, I'm not gonna do that, no way, right? So Bill, which Kamala Harris are you in favor of? Because you can't be in favor of both of them, right? But you also won't be honest with your audience and say she's a cheesy, standard establishment politician who doesn't have any actual opinions. Her only opinions are what the donors say and what the polling says. Oh, right, Bill's one of her donors. Oh, which leads me to the third issue. He also puts in the woke basket Palestine.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right. Those peace protester kids, they don't know anything. Yep. If they knew everything, they would know that Israel is the greatest country on earth. And I'm not gonna vote for any of those woke politicians who care about human beings and Palestinian children being starved to death. Who cares about them? Only woke people care.
No, I know, I get it. Look, Bill Maher, I don't agree with him on that issue at all, right? But do you think that he is correct on this particular issue?
Yes, I do.
And the reason why I wasn't buying it at first is because I knew from the beginning that Kamala Harris didn't actually mean anything that she said when she was running in the Democratic primary in 2020.
Yeah, Anna, so it's a great question. And what we're doing here is nuance. And I know that's, if you're in establishment media, that's gonna blow you away. You're not gonna understand. Wait, black or white, Republican or Democrat, woke or not woke? Might it depend on the issue? Isn't that funny that I have to clarify that? So yeah, I'm not for if you call them woke policies to say defund the police and give undocumented immigrants any kind of surgery they want that's optional or whatever, however you want to phrase it. No, I don't think those are helpful politically, right? But if you say, hey, let's let Israel genocide the Palestinians. Well, first of all, that's not popular.
Right.
If the polling indicates that the American people are definitely against that.
Especially Democrats, independents, young voters.
Yeah, the people that are gonna show up to vote in order to get, et cetera. And besides, it's the immoral position. So you're just taking a bunch of disparate policies and throwing them in a woke basket, and it's all the ones you don't want to happen. So I don't agree with your dumb way of characterizing the issues. You go issue by issue, and if you're right, I'll say you're right. Where's the harm in that, right? Because guys, it sounds personal because we get animated, but it isn't personal. I don't care about Bill Maher or Joe Scarborough or Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. I'm not gonna change my policy positions based on personalities. But these guys, they all know each other. So they're like, oh, I like Kamala better. And and they're just lying. They're lying and pretending that all these things are in the same bucket when they're not. If you enjoyed this video, that's because of our members. They make us independent, they make us strong, and they make us honest. Become a member today by hitting the join button below.